Questions. What's better to read? Beis Mashiach or Chassidische Derher? So if it's Beis Mashiach versus Chassidische Derher, then the Derher is, I think, a lot more appropriate. Because Beis Mashiach has a lot of things of news. It also has advertisements, which Bechlal on Shabbos, it's a problem to read it on Shabbos Bechlal, because it has advertisements. You have to touch it. Bechlal, according to many poskim, it's considered Muktzak for Chabad Beis Mashiach, versus Derher has no advertisements, it's geared just for Bachrim. The question might be that Beis Mashiach puts out a supplement called Atamim. They just put it out, the first one in English, and I would say that that supplement and the Derher are the same thing. Here's a very, very heavy question over here. What is the right, proper way to learn Gemara, Shulchan Aruch, Hasidus? Is it to read and translate each word and sound like a robot? Or is it to read a few lines and talk it over with your chavrusa out loud? Or to write it down? And doesn't make a difference if it's Nigla or Hasidus. So this question, usually Bachrim ask when they're older. I don't know who the Bachar asking the questions, it's Al Bachar, the Sifta Bachar, but it's a very important question. And I actually, if anyone is really interested in a long answer, so I have a friend of mine, Rabbi Heller, is a teacher in the Torah Shir Aleph Zal. He gave 3 hours, 3 shiurim, each one an hour explaining how you're supposed to learn. Spent 3 hours about it. About the right way. He's talking only about Nigla, but really, that regarding the last question of it, is a difference Nigla and Chassidus? The answer is no. And this is the Rebbe's Chiddush. You have to learn Nigla, Chassidus just like Nigla. So it's 3 hours. I can send whoever wants. I can send the audio of going on and on details of what's the proper way to learn. In short, the answer is a robot is obviously not ideal. You're supposed to read in every paragraph or every section. You're supposed to summarize. So ideally, summarizing can either be saying it over yourself, or you can write it, but you have to have clarity in what you're learning. And true, there are many people that read just like read and type everywhere like a robot, and they don't have a proper understanding of what they're learning. It happens, especially it happens in Chassidus. It happens a lot more often than in Nigla. That in Chassidus, a person learns a whole Maimer, a whole Sikha, and then you ask him what's the point of the Sikha, the Maimer, he doesn't know. It happened in Nigla as well. Now as a Bacher, I remember I once asked the Meishiv a question in the Gemara and Girsa, and the Meishiv told me, you understand the Gemara before? I said, yeah, I understand everything just till then. So then he asked me, what does it mean before? So I told him what I thought what it meant. He said, no, that's not what it means. So he ended up going back to a whole daf of Gemara, a whole 2 amudim that I thought I read and understood, that really I did not understand. I was just reading and teaching each word for itself, and it made sense to me. So he taught me a cloud that when you're learning, you have to stop and realize what's going on. What is the question? What is the answer? How is it an answer? When there's a proof, and so on. So that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's why for most Bachrim, especially younger Bachrim, it's very important to go to a shir, and in the shir you're taught what the meaning of, not just the title of the words, also the layout of what's going on, whether it's a Sikha, a Maimer, a Gemara, a Tosfos, to know what's going on. So it's not just, it's more, and we pick it up as you go along, as you go to classes more. More information also, there's a Kundus of the Rebbe Rashad called Kundus Eis HaChaim, and over there in the few Prokim, Chavav, Chav Zayin, Chav Ches, Chav Tes, he talks about the right way of learning Gemara as well. Over there he also explains it, which my friend in the Shir, he references to that as well. So that's in short the answer. Again, more barichas, come to me later, I can give you those shiur. When will Mashiach come? Hayoim b'kayli tishmo. That's the famous answer of the Gemara, of El Mashiach himself. I don't have any other answer. Huh? Why, when we go to the weddings, do we wear nicer clothes than on Shabbos? So our question is who you're talking to. The further second cousins and first cousins even, I also don't think they wear nicer clothes than they wear on Shabbos. It's usually the siblings of the Chas and Kala and the Chas and Kala themselves. So Bechlal, really the same thing applies to Yom Tov. It says that on Yom Tov you have to wear nicer clothes than on Shabbos, because according to this basic the halacha, there's no mitzvah of simcha on Shabbos. Huh?
That's how we have Seder on Shabbos.
Because there's no simcha on Shabbos. Mashenk in Yom Tov there's simcha. Makes sense, but it says Pikudei Hashem Yishorim Misam Chelev, so it doesn't fit with what you're saying. Apaponim, there's no mitzvah to Al Pi Halacha, there's no mitzvah to be happy on Shabbos. In Pashtus, there's the Rebbe Zichus and explaining deeper that there is an element of simcha. The Pashtus, Shabbos is a mitzvah of oinig, of enjoying Shabbos and having a Shabbos meal and kovid, but there's no mitzvah of simcha. Versus Yom Tov, there's a mitzvah of simcha, and that's one of the reasons why we're supposed to wear nicer clothes on Yom Tov. Most people, in honor of Yom Tov, they end up buying a new suit, a new hat, something l'chaved Yom Tov. So the Chayra al derech zeh chasana is the element of simchas chasam v'kalo. There's a whole mitzvah v'sameach zeh chasam v'kalo. So by Pashas, that would be the reason, I would assume, that connected to a wedding, there's a Indian to bring nicer clothes. What does Hasidish mean? This question, if you'll ask 10 mashpim, you'll probably get 10 answers. And if you'll ask one mashpia 10 times, you'll get another 10 answers. It's a very hard question to answer, to define it in short. My simple definition as of now is Hasidish is someone that's sincerely working on himself. Someone that's trying to make himself closer to the Eibishter. He's always trying to work on himself. He's not satisfied with the status quo, with the way he is right now. He always is working on himself to get closer to Hashem. Taking upon himself more achlot estoivis and sur miran asaytoiv, and he's constantly working on himself. My understanding. Okay. Two heavy questions that are connected, and we can ask many other questions about it, but we'll put it all together, and hopefully this will satisfy many, at least for the time being. Should we spread the message of Yechi to the world? Should you say Yechi after davening? Ready? Set? Go. Okay. So first of all, Yisrael, come sit over here. So I thought about this a lot, how to say this, and I want to break it up into, I would say, different types of people. So there's one type of person that doesn't care about the whole Maisa, so that's one category. That's not part of the whole thing. The people that claim to care about it, I would say there are 9 categories. Sholei Shein Teisha. There's the three general categories, and then there's the individual categories. They are the Seichel, Midas, and Malchus. They are the people that actually thought about it, and they learned the Rebbe Sichos, and they learned the Darkei Chassidus, and they have a lot of understanding, and their decision whether to spread Yechi to the world or to say Yechi after davening or not is based on understanding. That's one category of people. And that itself, there are 3 subcategories, we'll soon get to that. Then there are the people that are the Midas people. Midas people are people that they never really learned the Sugya well. They never learned all the Sichos, what the Rebbe talks about, Yechi or not Yechi, and they don't know too much. But they just want to be good boys. They want to be Chassidish Bachrim. And they look at the people that they respect. And in the communities that they grow up in, or the Shluchim that they meet, or the Rabbanim that they meet, are people that have a certain kav. And that kav is either yes or no. And therefore, these people follow the same way with the tmimus, that they dafka say Yechi or dafka don't say Yechi, and they treat it, by them it's just like they don't understand necessarily what's the reason why we have to learn Rambam every day. That's what the Chassidim say, the Rebbe says, many Bachrim never learned the Sikha, why the Rebbe said to learn Rambam 3 Brachim a day, and so on. But it's a certain tmimus. So there are many Bachrim that are in the second category, that they mean it sincerely, whether they're saying or not saying, without a proper understanding. They know a few words here and there, but they never learned the Sugya. And then there's a third category, the people that are Stam HaKachayniks, the people that are looking to make other people crazy. The people that dafka want to say Yechi to bother other people, and people that are dafka trying to yell at you for whatever you're doing, so I'll yell at you for saying Yechi as well. So that's the third category of people. Please put it up. So obviously, for the third category, everyone understands is a Hakachaynik, is a Bacher that makes jokes about everything, and Mitamoli is saying or not saying Yechi as if that cares about the Rebbe. It's obviously, we're not discussing that. And the middle category is also very commendable, and the middle category is very important, that no matter what you think, if you see a Bacher in the middle category, you shouldn't tell him anything, my opinion, because if he sincerely means that he's doing the right thing, whether you agree or disagree, he means that he has the right intent, so therefore you should be mechabed him, and every person, there's many ways of serving Hashem in all inyan. Regarding the first category, the people that study the Sugya, so there can be 3 opinions. It can be really many, many more. And also in these 3 levels, you can have 3 levels also. How much seichel, how much midas, how much of a joke out of it, and so on. But just in categorize it, it's like a tic-tac-toe tic-tac-toe board. 3, 3, 3. So again, there's many, many levels in between, but Epes Azoy, I think it would categorize in these 3 levels. So in the 3 levels of what the actual opinion is, so there are people that say for sure yes, 100%, people that say for sure no, 100%, and then there are people more or less in the middle. So, to explain the people that say yes, the people that say you're supposed to say Yechi and spread the message to the world is a lot simpler than the people that say not. Not that right or wrong, I'm not saying what's right or wrong, because only the Rebbe knows what's right and wrong, but just to explain it. To explain it is like this. The facts are that in Beis Nisan Tavshin Memches, the Rebbe spoke a sikha about the importance of saying Yechi HaMelech. The concept of saying Yechi HaMelech we have in Tanakh already, and the Medrash says that even other Medishim already, the animals proclaimed other Medishim, they said Yechi HaMelech. And in Tanakh we have it, to David HaMelech, to Shlomo HaMelech, there's an Inyan that when you have a king you proclaim, long live the king. The simple meaning is it's accepting that the king is king. And the Rebbe speaks about it in the famous Sikha Beis Nisan Tavshin Mamches. The Rebbe spoke about it, and the Rebbe spoke about the Avodah of Hachrozas Yechi HaMelech. Hachroza means a proclamation. The Rebbe spoke it in such a way that there's an Inyan to proclaim it, and to call out, and it's Meisif Chayis in the Melech, and it's very clear in that Sikha that there's an Inyan to do so. That's fact number one. Fact number two is from Beis Nisan Tavshin Mamches till Tavshin and Aleph. They did not sing Yechi by the Rebbe's Farbrengens, and no one ever said Yechi in a proclamation kind of way. By children's rallies, what? By children's rallies, kids would say Yechi Adinenu Merinu V'Rabbeinu, but they would not say Melech HaMashiach. But by Chassidim, by davening, that never happened. Tavshin and Aleph Tasvav Iyar, there was one time that Chassidim started singing Yechi, and the Rebbe with his hand for it. That was the one time that happened before Chav Zayin Nod. After Chav Zayin Nodar, when the Rebbe had the stroke, then the Rebbe came out on the balcony, and then for the next year and a half approximately, so then the Chassidim would sing Yechi in front of the Rebbe, and the Rebbe would constantly be Mo'ed. So those are pretty much, and those years people started saying Yechi after davening as well, 3 times after each davening. Those are the facts on the table, what actually happened, more as far as I understand, from those years. So, those that say Yechi, so there's basically questions on both opinions. If you say you're supposed to say Yechi all the time, the question is why didn't people say it from Beis Iyar till Chav Zayin Nodar? And those that say they're not supposed to say Yechi, so what do you do with that Sikha? And what do you do with the facts that happened that the Rebbe was Mo'eded those 2 years? So both Shittas have some